I was going to try something different. I'm just in the car on the way home from the ground now, so I'm going to give my reaction coming back in the car. It's a terrible camera angle. Coming back in the car, and I'm going to upload it as soon as I get home, and then they'll be through the turnstiles with my dad either late this evening or first thing in the morning. So this is instead of jumping on and doing a post-match reaction like I do when Villa are away, for example, and I'll jump on straight away and do something. I'm really happy with that. Really happy with the last kind of 10 days or so for Villa. 4 wins in a row. I think a few weeks ago we would never have seen that come in. And I thought today was a really accomplished performance. We made it a little bit more difficult than we needed to in the end, letting a bit of a cheap set-piece goal in that I've not seen back yet, but it looked quite cheap, looked quite basic, made it a little bit more nervy than it should have been. But then in the end, I think after the Buendia injury, we did kind of see it out relatively comfortably with some good bits of play from Rodgers and Maatsen just to see the game out. Thought we started well. Thought the setup was really, really interesting today, the way we played. I think Emery got it absolutely spot on. Burnley were always going to be deep, but yet somehow we still managed to catch them in transition, and that was because of the way that we set up today. Using Marlon as a second striker isn't really something that we've seen, but it was very reminiscent of Moussa Diaby a couple of seasons ago, and it felt like it worked as well as that did, in the performance in general, and the way we lined up felt more like Villa from that 23-24 season, with Pau Torres building up from the back. I thought Kamara actually ended up taking the Douglas Luiz role in midfield, and then Bogard was actually Kamara of that season. I think Bogard's really, really growing. I think he deserves a little bit of a run in the team. I think every time he's come in, he hasn't let us down, but I think now he's starting to grow in confidence, prepared to carry the ball a little bit more and get his foot in. I think maybe at times when he played last season, he was a little bit resistant to do that, maybe a bit not as front-footed as he could be. I think that's starting to come now with the rhythm of playing every week, and Kamara playing on the left of the two, kind of taking on the Tielemans / Douglas Luiz role. He's just such a good footballer, such a brilliant player. We use him as that ball winner, as that anchor man for us, but he's capable of much more. He's got a good range of passing, he distributes well, he can break up the play, and that assist for the first goal, the assist for Marlon's goal, was a really, really good assist, and then taken really, really well by Donyell Marlon, who looked like he'd perhaps gone a little bit too far, but he's got that finish in his locker where he can just smash it past the goalkeeper. He's done it twice today. The second goal was a lovely, lovely finish. That's a difficult take, I think. Again, I've not seen anything back at this point, but that's a difficult take from Donyell Marlon, and he's made it look easy. And I'm glad to say, I think he was actually about to come off before he scored that second goal. Gasson was about to come on for him, I think, potentially, but then it ended up being Watkins who came off. But just all round, to a man, I thought we were good today. People will look at it and say it's Burnley, but I do genuinely believe that a couple of weeks ago we'd probably found a way to not win that game. We just look like we're flowing a little bit more now. Watkins and Rodgers haven't got the goals today. Rodgers has got the assist, but it feels like it's starting to come for them. I do believe that it will come for both of them. You could see Rodgers, the way he celebrated getting an assist. It was almost like he was celebrating it like he'd scored, because that would have meant a lot to him after the weeks of not really playing that well, getting a little bit of abuse from the crowd a few weeks ago, getting questions asked of him. He's starting to respond, and maybe he's kind of rid his way through that difficult patch. I thought he was really good today. Luca Dean unlucky not to score at the end as well with the outside of his boot. Dubravka actually made a couple of really good saves today. Emi himself made a really smart stop as well when the game was 1-0 at the end of the first half. So everyone's contributed today. Matty Cash unlucky with an effort from range as well. Konsa his usual self, as my dad said earlier, at the back. Just everyone has contributed and offered something today, and I'm just pleased that you'd see us do that kind of subtle differences in like playing that system that we've always played under Unai Emery, but just having those few little tweaks today, operating with Marlon the way we did Kamara, Bogard the way we did Bogard, dropping in to make that back three at times. I thought it was really, really beneficial for this game in particular, and it's just like nice to see us have those subtle nuances again to our play that we kind of thought that we had a few years ago. Maybe last season we didn't have as much of them, especially in the first half of the season, and in the second half of the season we were really good because we had Rashford and Asensio, but that did feel more like Emery's Villa today, more like the Villa of a few years ago. So great to see. I'm coming away from Villa Park really, really happy today. Thought we'd win. We did win. Didn't think it would be one of those ones that we won comfortably, but actually on another day we probably do win that game a little bit more comfortably. Burnley didn't pose too many troubles for us. It was just that annoying goal from a set piece at the end. I'm sure the defence is annoyed not to have kept a clean sheet, that at one point it looked likely that they would keep. So yeah, that's my 5-minute on the whistle summary of the game. We've moved about 10 yards in the time I've been doing this summary, so I'll get this uploaded as soon as I get home, and then just remember to watch out for Through the Turnstiles, either out late this evening or out first thing in the morning. Me and my dad's day documented going to the villa, some parking difficulties and whatnot, but we've had a really good day today, and he's buzzing because a few people have come up and said hello to him and recognise him. So watch out for that later on the channel, and then on Monday there'll be a full in-depth deep dive into the game with someone. I'll make sure that's going up on the channel on Monday. So take care of yourselves, enjoy the win, and as always, up the Villa.